everybody, and welcome to the Wealthy LaLa show with myself, Laurie Laursen. Um, Today is episode 196. Just think, by the end of this week, I will have hit 100 episodes. That's pretty exciting in my world. Anyways, again, just if you guys ever have any ideas for shows, if you would ever like to book me for a coaching session, if you'd ever like to make a suggestion, or if you have any comments or feedback, email me at thewealthyLaLa@gmail.com. How does it get any better? So anyways, I got to tell you guys, my name of my show is a Wealthy LaLa, and I am an even wealthier Lala now than I was last week. How's it get any better? My daughter, I have 3 kids. I have 2 sons and a daughter, and my daughter, who's the youngest, had her very first baby on May 3rd at 6:09 p.m. She had a beautiful little baby girl. Oh my God, she's adorable. Her name is Madeline, and I'm sucked in. I am. I'm hook, line, and sinker. I'm in. She's adorable. Oh, I feel so incredibly blessed. So now we have 2 grandsons, one that's 2 years and 9 months and another one that's 9 months. And then we have little Miss Madeline, and she got to come home today, so that was pretty exciting. Yeah, so, oh man, wow. It's really, really interesting, this thing called life and all of this. It brought up a lot of emotion, this whole thing. Just one sec, gotta have a drink here. I had a C-section actually with all of my kids, but with her, I'd actually hired a midwife, and I was intending on having a home birth and having a vaginal birth. So consider this was 26 years ago, so it was a very big deal. It was very different at the time. And yeah, that's what I was choosing and hoping to have. And in the end, I actually ended up having a C-section again. She was just too big and I was just too small. The way our pelvises are, they're usually like a bowl, right? With an opening that's kind of round. Mine was more oblong. So I was bigger than average front to back, smaller than average side to side. And the side to side part is the part they have to make it down first to then be able to come out. And yeah, well, she was 9'3" and just too big. Now, at the time, really, I say this so endearingly. Poor me at the time. I did not have the tools, the information, the questions, the knowledge that I have now. So when I did not have her naturally, oh man, I remember a year later still in tears about it. I just, when I look back now, kind of my best guess is that I really felt like I failed, that I really wanted it to work out for me. And I did not have the questions back then, like, what was right about this. I mean, I can see now. I'm so incredibly grateful that I was able to have the 3 kids I did. All of them came out healthy. I'm so grateful for that. And yeah, so, some of us are meant to have them naturally, some are half and half, and some we end up having them by cesarean. And thank God we can, because if there's some of us that can't have them physically, the C-section ends up contributing to that. Now, this new little granddaughter of ours ended up being breech, and it was not discovered until the very last minute. She kept herself very secretive and hidden in there. Everybody thought she was head down. Even when they checked her at the hospital, when she got there, they thought she was head down. And later in the day, when they went to go and induce her, just because her contractions just were really mild, and they wanted to assist her to kind of get things going for her, no sense dragging out the process. And when they checked her, they're like, oh my, that's a bum. So anyways, the little turkey ended up having, the mom, my daughter, ended up having a cesarean. So she has recovered so well, gone home already in less than 48 hours. Yeah. It's so incredibly different too to see the way things have changed. And I mean, 26 years is a lot of time. And it's amazing how much has changed in such a short time. When we look at things like phones, cell phones, like 26 years ago, um, when we had Marie, at the hospital, my husband actually left the hospital, then drove to my parents, and that was how he ended up telling them that we had had the baby. Like, nobody had cell phones back then. Uh, yeah, like it's so instantaneous now, what we can do and what we can share and what we can put out there. It's pretty incredible. And to see too, the way the men, the partners, are so, and I'm saying men because my daughter has a husband, um, but the way the partners are so supportive. Like, my daughter's husband stayed at the hospital both nights. It was just one of these sort of fold out chairs, but he stayed there the whole time with her. She had the baby, like 2 days ago, and he was there the whole time. And I when we got to the hospital and saw Madeline and met her, I had said, "Oh, so are you going home?" I had said to her, my son-in-law, and it was like, "No, no, he's going to be staying here." And it was just so natural and matter of fact. And I was like, "Wow!" Like, you know, things change. And when I see how many other things have changed, just with like car seats and baby monitors and wow, they're like the choices for things are just so incredible that I'm so grateful that I'm a person that's willing to be open just with even how parenting is. Like, I was given spankings. I definitely don't want this to turn into a controversial show. And you know, I think we gave our kids the odd one. We may have given them a little pat on the butt every once in a while when they were little. I don't remember it being a really big thing though. And our daughter-in-law and son have not given their two little boys, well, especially the older one anyways, there's been no spankings. And I see the way my daughter-in-law, she's such a lovely, calm, patient mother. Like, I've learned so much just from watching her way of distracting our grandsons, or just so kindly saying something to them, and not creating any fight in their world. It just showed me a completely different possibility. Now these are our kids, these are our grandchildren. I'm not making anybody wrong with what they choose. I just love that as time and life goes on, that things do change, and that things do evolve, and the willingness to be open to all that. And I don't know about you guys, but I am so grateful for anybody who has a hard time with change. I don't know about you, but I love indoor plumbing. I do. I like that my house has heat. I love all of those kind of changes. And I'm super grateful for them. And even with all the change in technology, I mean, my daughter texted me a picture this morning of our new granddaughter, and it's just such a beautiful, lovely way to keep connected. One of my sister-in-laws actually lives in Alberta, Canada here, like we do, and her daughter lives in Halifax, Nova Scotia, which is, of course, way in Eastern Canada. And due to the fact of having cell phones and being able to Skype and text and send videos, we can stay connected with people that that we just couldn't before. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember, I remember when everything was long distance. We moved to this farm 21 years ago, and everything except just a couple of areas in our local calling area was long distance. Like everything. Edmonton was long distance. Our parents were long distance and they were only 20 minutes away. They didn't have those, pay $20 a month and get all of North America free or all of Canada. Well, not free, but included. And yeah, the way life has evolved and changed is just so incredible. And I'm grateful. And I'm sure, 20 years ago and 50 years ago, as things changed for our parents and for our grandparents, they had some trepidation about the old way in some ways being better and the new way being maybe not so good. And, just like we probably have at times, depending on the subject. And yeah. And I feel so incredibly grateful and blessed to now have three. I have three grandbabies. Oh my God. I'm so happy. And I love what they invite me to. And I love the timing of them too. Um, 2.5 years ago when we had our first grandson, that invited me to choose something different with my health at the time. Because it was like there was something, not that I was making my grandson, not knowing he was a grandson, but I wasn't making him the object or subject of my happiness. And his invitation into choosing to come into the world and into our family, um, it creates a sense of newness. I was talking with someone last night. We were at a function, and they were saying how, because this one woman, she has two sisters, and her grandkids are all older. Say like at least 10 to 23 kind of thing. And she has two sisters who now have brand new grandbabies. And so they're like a year and a half and like 3. And and she was saying the newness that they brought to their Easter dinner that they had just recently was just such a joy. And that's the thing, is that inviting in these little ones and having, however they show up in our life as nieces and nephews or grandkids or kids or friends' babies, or, however they show up, their newness keeps life interesting and engaging and fresh and a new possibility. And I just love it. I'm so incredibly grateful that in my world, I was able to have children and that I was able to have grandchildren and that I'm able to see them and I'm able to experience this and I'm allowing myself to receive it. The playfulness of it all, the wonder of it all. And like I told you guys on the other day, how I had a bath with my grandson, I was telling someone about it last night, and one mom who's a new grandma too, and she's like, I know, they just have no point of view, do they? Get in the tub, grandma. you know? Oh gosh. And even inviting that, could I have as no point of view about my body as my grandkids do? I love the beauty of that invitation. I really truly do. Oh yes. I am so grateful. Really, truly, truly grateful. Well, people, I think we're going to cut her short today. A minute short. how did you get so lucky? So, anyways, I wish you guys a wonderful, inspired, blessed day today. And big hugs to you. Have a wonderful day. And thanks again so much for listening. And again, if you feel that someone else that you know would benefit or enjoy listening to my radio shows, I would absolutely feel so incredibly grateful if you would pass it on. Thank you so much. Big hug.